The issue of the same-sex marriage has been scrutinized throughout history due to its mention in religious texts and its application in society. The topic that I will be sharing has something to do with this. Is Philippines on same-sex marriage ready or not? Back on January 6, 2020, the Philippine Supreme Court announced it had dismissed a motion to reconsider its September 19 ruling denying a petition to approve same-sex marriage in the country, effectively concluding this case with finality. Though the Philippines has a reputation for being accepting of same-sex relationships, few legal protections and rights exist in a nation where conservative Catholic values are deep-seated. With this, is the Philippines ready to reopen and raise concerns about legalizing same-sex marriage? Before I give answer to this question, let me give you some facts about same-sex marriage. Netherlands was the first one to legalize same-sex marriage back in 2001. And as of 2022, marriage between same-sex couples is legally performed and recognized in 30 different countries, with the most recent being Chile in March 2022 and Switzerland starting July 1st, 2022. And 5 years after the US Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage around the US, more than 500,000 households are made up of married same-sex couples according to the figures in the US Census Bureau. If there are facts about same-sex marriage, there are also some ethical issues. There are many arguments and protests that are against gay marriage. Among these are the beliefs that gay couple are unnatural, marriage is sacred and a sacrament, the primary purpose of marriage is procreation, and marriage is defined as a union between a man and a woman. Most religious opponents to gay marriage cite the Leviticus 20 verse 13 that if a man lies with a man as one who lies with a woman, both of them have done what is repulsive, and they must be put to death. What are the principles of this dilemma? Equality and non-discrimination. Allowing same-sex marriage would enable gays and lesbians in the Philippines to marry the person they love and would strengthen everyone's rights. From a human rights perspective, broadening civil marriage to couples of the same sex demonstrates respect for the fundamental rights of equality and non-discrimination. What are the alternatives? The Philippines will either consider the petition and mandate the same-sex marriage, or there will be no new hearing and appeals as to what the Supreme Court said. And if we are going to compare the alternatives to the principle, if the Philippines Supreme Court chooses to hear the people's petition regarding same-sex marriage, they will also further promote gender equality and respect the non-discrimination against all gender, races, religions, and sexual preferences. On the other hand, if there will be no new hearing and appeals, issues regarding gender discrimination and inequality will rise. What are the consequences of these alternatives? When and if gay marriage is passed, they will receive the same benefits of heterosexual couples. Gay marriage would increase adoption rates. There are many children that are in need of homes by loving parents and extended families. This would be a positive step for children that do not have a home. On the contrary, giving way to legal acceptance to gay marriage would hurt society on a number of levels. First, legal identification of gay couples would legitimize morally wrong unions. It would be morally wrong in a society that looks at the marriage to be fundamentally being between a man and a woman, and this is being from a religious point of view. So what is my decision? I believe in the separation of church and state. It should have no bearing on our laws and moral reasoning when it comes to making our laws, as long as our rights do not infringe to our fellow citizen rights. With this, I firmly believe that the Philippines is more than ready to open a new book and a new chapter for the LGBTQ+ community, which is to legalize the same-sex marriage.